The old grandfather clock in the corner of Evelyn's living room struck 12 times, signaling midnight with its deep, resonant chimes. She sighed heavily as she flipped the page of her book, trying to focus on the words, but feeling a sense of unease creeping up her spine. Ever since her husband, James, passed away 6 months ago, nights had become a lonely and unsettling time for her. The house creaked softly around her, and the ticking of the clock seemed to echo in the silence. Just as she was about to set her book aside and retire to bed, the phone on the side table beside her rang. Evelyn's heart skipped a beat. She wasn't used to receiving calls at this hour, especially not in the middle of the night. She hesitated, staring at the phone as it continued to ring insistently. With a shaky hand, she finally picked up the receiver. "Hello?" Static crackled on the other end for a moment before a soft, familiar voice spoke. "Evelyn." Her breath caught in her throat. It couldn't be. The voice sounded just like James's, but it couldn't be him. He was gone. "James," she whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. There was a long pause, and then the voice continued. "Evelyn, I miss you." She felt a mixture of emotions, grief, confusion, and a glimmer of hope. "James, where are you?" "I can't stay long," the voice replied, sounding urgent now. "But I need you to know something." Evelyn's mind raced. Was this some cruel prank? A hallucination brought on by grief? But deep down, she knew the voice, knew it belonged to James. "Tell me," she managed to say, her voice trembling. "There's something you need to find," James said cryptically. "Something I left for you." "What do you mean?" Evelyn asked, her heart pounding. "You'll know when you find it," James said, his voice fading. "It's important, Evelyn. Promise me you'll find it." "James, wait," she cried. But the line went dead, leaving only the dial tone echoing in her ear. Evelyn sat there in stunned silence, clutching the phone to her chest. Could it be possible? Could James really be trying to communicate with her from beyond the grave? Or was it all in her imagination? Determined to make sense of it, Evelyn spent the next day searching through James's belongings. She combed through old boxes in the attic, rifled through drawers in his study, and even ventured into the dusty corners of the basement. But she found nothing out of the ordinary. No hidden letters, no secret compartments, nothing that could explain James's mysterious message. As night fell once again, Evelyn found herself back in the living room, staring at the phone with a mix of anticipation and dread. Would the midnight caller reach out to her again? Sure enough, just as the clock struck midnight, the phone rang once more. Evelyn's heart raced as she answered it, almost afraid of what she might hear. "Evelyn," the voice said softly, relief flooding through her. It was James again. "James, please," she begged. "Where are you? How can I find what you left for me?" There was a heavy sigh on the other end. "I can't tell you, Evelyn, but you must trust me. Keep searching." "James, I need more than that," she pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "Please, I need to know you're really there." The line crackled with static, and for a moment, Evelyn feared he had disappeared again. But then James spoke, his voice low and urgent. "Remember the pendant," he said. "It's in the pendant." Before Evelyn could ask any more questions, the line went dead once again, leaving her clutching the receiver in frustration. The pendant? What pendant was James talking about? She hurried to her bedroom, rummaging through her jewelry box, she found the delicate silver pendant James had given her on their wedding day. It was a simple design, a heart-shaped locket with their initials engraved on the back. She held it in her hands, running her fingers over the smooth surface. Could this be what James was referring to? She hesitated for a moment, then carefully pried open the locket. Inside was a tiny slip of paper, folded neatly into quarters. Her hands trembled as she unfolded it, revealing a handwritten note in James's familiar script. "My dearest Evelyn," the note began. "If you're reading this, it means you found what I left for you. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you in person, but there are things beyond our understanding. Trust that I'm watching over you, guiding you from wherever I am. Remember our love, and know that I will always be with you." Tears blurred Evelyn's vision as she read the heartfelt words. She clutched the note to her chest, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. Maybe James wasn't truly gone after all. Maybe he had found a way to reach out to her, to comfort her in her grief. From that night on, Evelyn continued to receive midnight calls from James. Each time, he offered words of love and encouragement, guiding her through the darkest moments of her life. And though she never fully understood how or why he was able to communicate with her, she knew one thing for certain: their love was eternal, transcending even death itself. And so, Evelyn kept the pendant close to her heart, a reminder of the bond they shared, and the promise that they would be together again someday.